What's going on, guys? Checking out all new the RCWR show, covering the latest in all things wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011. Yes, officially later this week, we are going to be celebrating a milestone. I'll tell you about that in just a hot minute here. But here we are for November 8th of 2021. A good Monday night to you guys. I hope your weekend was fantastic. Mine's pretty good. Did some working in between. But mainly I caught up on rest. I actually came down with a little bit of a cold. I was actually losing my voice off and on. It was pretty bad. The worst part was honestly going to work, not really being able to interact with my supervisors and coworkers, and because I couldn't speak. I could not speak. And when I did have some type of energy in my throat, when something was there and I could speak, it was very, very low, extremely low. So for the most part, whenever people were trying to ask me questions or whatever, I had like this stupid little sign that said lost voice, sorry. It's something I just took a pen, a little piece of paper, a little small piece of paper, and I just pretty much wrote that up, and I was just showing it to folks. And for the most part, I would say about 90% of the folks that read that, they understood. And, but what was the real kicker? Not one person that read that said to me, "Oh man, so sorry to hear that. Well, hope you feel better. Hope you get your voice back," or something along those lines. It was nothing like that whatsoever. So I mainly just been kicking back, resting, catching up on much needed rest. I think honestly, just the totality, a lot of the stuff that I do on a weekly basis is kind of catching up to me, especially when I add the shows on top of everything else that I'm already doing. So I did drink plenty of tea. And I tell you what is probably had made things prolong as far as what was going on with my throat. We don't have heat in the house right now. And that is because my mother-in-law decided she wanted to, help us out, do a little bit of home improvement in our basement, because she knows a thing or two about home improvement. So something that she was trying to do in the basement had involved shutting off our furnace, basically. And since the furnace was turned off, as far as turning it back on, well, this is a new furnace. I mean, we got it installed about less than 3 years ago. And sadly, we were only shown how to turn that bad boy on once. So we've actually had to be operating the past couple of nights with a little small portable heater for our respected rooms and all that. So it's been kind of interesting being in a cold house and trying to do your best to stay warm and all that. We got somebody, I don't want those of you feeling sorry, we got somebody that's actually coming out tomorrow. They're going to be taking a look at it and everything, and hopefully, knock on wood, once they show us yet again how we need to be operating with the heat, hopefully that'll kind of, do the trick. I say that to bring up this very important message, which is now that we're officially here, it's fall and winter is here. Look, we dodged some serious bullets last year. We did. We dodged some serious bullets last year, but I don't think we're going to be as fortunate. I think this go round, we're definitely going to be hit with some significant snowstorms. So I can't stress it enough. Now that wintertime is pretty much here, make sure you haven't done so already. Check on your fellow neighbors. Make sure that they've got everything they need as far as maybe an emergency food supply, just in case some weird stuff happens, because power does go out during the winter time. It could be some type of a storm or whatever, right? Also look out for the elderly. Look out for those that, are kind of up there in age. Make sure they're doing all right as far as heating their home, and find out maybe they might need some stuff done around the house. Maybe their yard needs to be taken care of, things of that nature. Pay it forward, always forward, as I like to say. I have a poll up asking you guys, what did you think about tonight's WWE RAW? We got one up on YouTube, communities tab at the RCWR show. Also got a poll up on Twitter at the RCWR show. You can feel free to give me a follow over there as well if you like. Right now, early votes are coming in, but just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a snapshot / preview, looks like right now via Twitter, I'm seeing we've got 100% of the votes coming in, giving the show a thumbs down. Meanwhile, when we go over to YouTube on the communities tab, it's a 50-50 split. That's what we got going on right now. So take your pick and sound off. Go with the poll you feel best represents where you're at, right? That's the best advice I can give for those of you that got the Twitter, and you happen to be checking us out via YouTube, as I know we're streaming on the multiple outlets right now. We're going to get into the talk of Raw and everything in just a hot minute. We got some important little it's kind of wrestling related, but it's non-wrestling related stuff. It's actually some good news that we want to get into, some rapid fire here. So first off, I keep meaning to bring this up, and when the news initially broke out, I meant to talk about it here on the show. Nothing lengthy, nothing long-winded. I just wanted to show some love, but it kept slipping my mind. I want to give a mad shout out to definitely a friend of mine in the years that I have known him. Real cool guy, very hardworking. I love this guy. Every time I turn around, he is always interviewing somebody. That's the best part that I love about him. Every time I turn around, he's always interviewing somebody. And the best part that I love about him and the people that he's interviewing, I see the progression that he's been making. He's been getting better and better and better as a overall broadcaster, as overall a reporter, or interviewer. He's been doing a phenomenal job. You may be a little bit familiar with his work if you're a Walking Dead fan, especially if you follow the Walking Dead. Well, I lost track of those shows. You got Walking Dead, you got Fear the Walking Dead, and I think you got the other one, was it Walking Dead Beyond? All those damn shows that's running around. Gotta give a shout out to my man Julian Canon of the Wrestling Court. He and his lovely fiance / wife, I'm just going to call them, I don't think they're officially married. I don't think yet, but I'm just going to go ahead and call them husband and wife, because when you've been together for so long, as far as I'm concerned, you're husband and wife. They finally welcomed a beautiful baby into this world, as she gave birth not last week. I think it was the tail end of the week before. So definitely want to send mad shout out and congrats to Julian and family. Real cool dude. I really do like him. I like his work. I respect the hell out of him. He reminds me a lot of myself when I first started off in the whole podcasting genre, and just to see the evolution he's been able to make, I really have been impressed with the young man. So nothing but thoughts and congrats to the Canon family. And then I want to send some major congratulations to another friend of mine. Me and this guy, we go way back as far as the podcasting community brotherhood goes, and just becoming friends in the process, because we both have been following each other's work. And I truly respect and love this guy tremendously. He has been at this a little bit longer than me. He's been at this for now 14 years. He just celebrated his 14th anniversary doing podcasting. I got to give it up to my friend, my brother. Oh, that's a little bit, no, not me. Jason Solomon of Solomonster Soundsoff. He celebrated officially over the weekend 14 years of doing his podcast. And let me tell you something, and I sincerely mean this. I said this to him earlier today. I meant to tell him on social media a lot sooner, but I got sidetracked with work, and as I mentioned at the top of the show, I wasn't really feeling that good. I've just been catching up on rest. But as I said openly on social media, Jason Solomonster has been a guy that puts in 100% of an effort, of energy, hardworking, just the cross-referencing, everything that he does. He goes above and beyond every single show that he's been putting out there for the past 14 years now. I love that hard work. I love that dedication. There's a lot of elements that I see in myself when I look at Jason and, what he's been able to do all these years. So congrats to Solomonster for 14 years. As here's to another year. Can't wait to see what happens with year 15. And here's to another 14 years as far as I'm concerned. Now, you guys kind of saw a little bit of a teaser there already. We're talking about anniversaries and all that, milestones. Well, the RCWR show, Willie Sanders is going to be hitting officially its own milestone coming up, as we're going to be celebrating officially this Sunday, which is going to be November the 14th, Sunday, November the 14th. We're going to be having our official 10th anniversary party. We're going to be doing a 10th anniversary show. You guys will be able to catch it live. It will be streaming on YouTube. It will be also available on Facebook, Twitter as well. Just use the keywords, the RCWR show. And it's going to be a fun show. I'm looking forward to doing that show. A lot of reflecting that we'll definitely do. We'll get into a little bit of headlines, whatever has gone down up to about that point. I've also reached out to a few people, see if they might be down for dropping on by, chatting for a couple of minutes. So that should be a really great show. So if you're around on Sunday night, this coming Sunday night, about 8 p.m. Eastern, pop up, say hello and all that. I greatly would appreciate that. But yeah, really hard to believe. I have been at this now for damn near 10 years. We'll officially, again, celebrate 10 years this Sunday. But yeah, it's really hard for me to believe. I can remember when I first, and I'm only going to tease you guys with this. I'm not going to go into a whole long-winded story. But it still, for me, only feels like yesterday when I began doing the podcasting. It doesn't feel like it's been a year. You know, it really just, it's amazing how fast time flies. And I've been saying that a lot this calendar year alone. But for me, if you were to tell me, you've been at it now for 3 years, I mean, that's how it still feels to me. If anything, it feels like I've been at it for like 3 years. But to just stop and think that, you've been at this for 10 years. And to see the amount of shows during that time frame that has pretty much come and gone. Wow. Just crazy when it's all said and done. So yeah, again, you're going to be around, mark it down on your calendar, Sunday, November 14th, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be streaming multiple platforms. It should be a really fun show. So check that out. So yeah, all those nice little noteworthy mentions. I see that we had a pretty busy weekend. Look, real quick, got to give a shout out to AEW. AEW did their Dark Elevation show for tonight. Here's the matches that they had go down here. And I'm going to spoil it for you guys and give you guys the results. You know how we do it on here. I usually just tell you guys the matches that came about for Dark Elevation. Ruby Soho and Ryo Mizunami took on Emi Sakura and Nyla Rose. Matt Hardy saw action against Dean Alexander. Meanwhile, the Acclaimed and 2.0 teamed up to take on the Dark Orders, Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver. Tootie Lynn, meanwhile, faced Rio. Powerhouse Will Hobbs faced Danny Adams. And the Butcher and the Blade were in action against Wheeler Yuta and Chuck Taylor. Those are your matches for this Monday's AEW Dark Elevation. Meanwhile, I just told you guys, pretty busy weekend that we had going into tonight. New Japan Pro Wrestling, they did their Strong event. Here's a couple of matches that went down. JR Kratos, Royce Isaacs, and Jorel Nelson defeated David Finlay, Yua Amora, and Clark Connors. Meanwhile, Juice Robinson defeated El Fantasmo, and Clark Connors and Ren Narita defeated Will Ospreay and TJP. Again, those were the matches that came about from New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong from over the weekend. Also, we got the return of Extreme Pro Wrestling, XPW. This was something that you could have ordered on Fight TV for $20 if you had the money to spare. I know some of you guys might have been a little bit on the fence about XPW because, after all, we got AEW Full Gear that's going to be coming up this weekend. And we'll get into Full Gear predictions and all that on Wednesday's RCWR show. So look out for that one, okay? But yeah, XPW, first of all, I know a lot of people are probably either saying, XP what? XP who? And then you got other people, wait, who actually thought that'd be good to bring back? Like, what the hell? And then you've got the hardcore. Hey, all right, XPW. I did not check out the event. However, I was keeping tabs on the social media buzz, whether it be online, in forums. I definitely was paying attention to what people were saying. I even visited the chat room on Fight TV to see what folks were saying about the show and everything. And mixed reactions, definitely mixed reactions. You know, for the most part, it's not one of those type of deals where, it's not as good as the original. The original was it was kind of sad because the number one comparison that I kept seeing when people were bringing up the XPW show from the weekend was, man, this reminds me so much of when ECW came back, but it was called Extreme Rising. I'm sure you guys probably remember that. We were covering that religiously when it had first came about. There were folks that we were interviewing for it, and just all the controversy that went down with Extreme Rising when it saw its ultimate demise. Check out the show archives if you want to go down memory lane. But a lot of people were bringing up how XPW reminded them of Extreme Rising, and that's not really complimentary. I have to say to you guys, not really complimentary what a lot of the people were saying. Now, for those of you that want a little bit of an alternative, and I don't blame anybody that might have heard about this XPW pay-per-view but wasn't willing to pump out the $20. Look, not for nothing, but you got XPW shows that are on Fight TV that you can watch for free right now, because apparently they did like a couple of shows leading up into this pay-per-view. Reason why I'm going on and on and on about XPW right now is because we do have a new XPW World Heavyweight Champion who you see weekly on AEW programming. He is their new XPW champion, and I got to give it up to Brian Cage. There was a whole big old tournament that XPW did, and the end result was Brian Cage facing Impact Wrestling's own Willie Mack in the XPW World Heavyweight Title Tournament Finals. And Brian Cage defeated Willie Mack to become the new XPW World Heavyweight Champion. So congrats to Brian Cage. I did see some of the jokes that were being put out there when folks found out that Brian Cage is the new XPW champion. They said, okay, so as if the FTW championship wasn't really worth any significant value. Again, these are some people's opinion, not mine. Yeah, the other people that are going, well, at least now we can say the FTW championship does have some type of value, whereas the XPW heavyweight championship, like, who truly gives a fuck? So again, these were some people's words, not mine. Look, as far as I'm concerned, I have said it time and time again on these shows, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan, because if you're tired of drinking a particular Kool-Aid from one promotion, man, there are so many other promotions that's out there. It's really, really a great time to be a wrestling fan right now. This pandemic that we had, it really sidelined the hell out of the wrestling industry as a whole. And to pretty much now be at that finish line, the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's like, hey, man, you know, look, it's kind of getting back to the way it was before all this craziness went down initially. It's great, especially considering all the wrestlers that had got released just last week, right? You know, we came on, we did a special, what was that, guys? We came on, man, when was that? Didn't we do a special show, what, Friday? I think we did a special show on Friday. It was either Thursday. No, it was Thursday, if I remember correctly. Thursday, we did a special RCWR show, and we were talking about all of those releases that had went down. Just, you know, and thank you to those of you that had tuned in and you wanted to see what I had thought about those releases. We actually got some comments from those that were released that we'll dive into in a hot little bit. But finishing up on that XPW card, during the pre-show, Facade had defeated Cheech, You had a last man standing match where Vincent defeated G Raver. Silas Young defeated Colin Delaney and Nick Ondo in a triple threat match. And this match particularly that I'm getting ready to mention had a lot of people pretty pissed off, and they just couldn't help but question the booking and everything. And for those of you that do follow the XPW product, if you're wondering if Rob Black and the original XPW color commentator had anything to do with this XPW revival, yes. You had a chairs match that had a lot of people irritated to pissed off. It was a chairs match between Madman Fulton and Schlack that ended in a no contest. And a lot of people were just scratching their heads going, how can we have a chairs match end in a no contest? How the hell does that make sense at all in 2021? What the hell? And these were people that legit, it wasn't people that were just complaining that weren't watching the pay-per-view. They were just reading the results. These were fans that I even saw with my own two eyes in the little Fight TV chat. These were paying customers that were just, what the hell? So, kind of off to, if you want my advice right now, look, if you got the $20, you're looking to expand your horizons, you want to see what else is happening in other promotions, go for it. If you're a little bit reserved and you want to make sure that you're getting the biggest bang for your dollar, you want to make sure that your money is being spent in a very good place, I would say check out the XPW free shows that they got on Fight TV first and see if that's going to be enough to lure you guys in to maybe want to check out the pay-per-view. Also over the weekend, Beyond Wrestling, they held their Reverse the Curse show out in Massachusetts just on Sunday. Here was their card, their pre-show. You had Club Cam, Aaron Rourke, Bobby Orlando, and Bryce Donovan defeat a very good Lee Valley wrestling trio. Brody King defeated Ryan Galarni. Is that how you pronounce his last name? Galarni? Alicia Edwards defeated Kaya McKenna. The Administrations, Damon Adams, Pedro Donis, and Tina San Antonio defeated Goodfellas, Mike Verna, and Rex Muscarella. Muscarella, and Willow Nightingale. B3CCA defeated Jody Threat. Kings of the District were in action against Suge D and Trish Adora. Matt Cardona defeated Ted Goods. Jeff Cobb defeated Wheeler Yuta. Kendi Copeland defeated Heidi. Right, that was a good one. Masha Slamovich defeated one called Manders. Bear Country defeated The Main Event. That's MANE. Megan Bain defeated, wow, this seems like an upsetter to me. Megan Bain defeated Max the Impaler. And you guys know how much of a big fan I am of Max the Impaler. Alec Price defeated Ricky Shane Page. Again, those were matches that had went down at the Beyond Wrestling Curse the Reverse show out in Massachusetts on Sunday. So yeah, had some pretty good action that had went about over the weekend. Again, for those of you that's looking for a new sensation, you want to drink something else, you definitely got your options now that we're at that finish line of the pandemic and everything. Look, WWE Raw tonight, okay show for the most part, which by the way, let's see what you guys are saying now. We had mentioned the polling results pretty much at the top of the show. Let's see where you guys are at now. YouTube, you guys are now saying 67% thumbs up for Raw tonight, 33% thumbs down. Meanwhile, over on Twitter, still 100% giving the show a thumbs down. So go with the poll that you feel best represents how you're feeling about the show. I thought the show was fairly decent. Look, overall, I would say as far as the in-ring wrestling goes, they definitely upped it. I will say that, excuse me, I will say that they definitely upped it on the in-ring action. I was looking at not just the quality of the matches that we got tonight, which for the most part was actually pretty good, even though we had an ass-kicking contest sandwiched in between some of the solid in-ring action we got. But I'm also looking at the length of time of these matches, and the length of time of these matches were actually pretty good. I was a little bit on the sour side when we pretty much were opening up with a talking segment. I wasn't really a fan of that, but you know what? They redeemed themselves, they being WWE, because they made the talking segment not be something long, drawn out, that was going to be 15, 20 minutes. They just went on ahead, kept it short and sweet. They did about somewhere between 5 to maybe almost 7 minutes of a talking segment, as they pretty much opened up with Seth Rollins and then Kevin Owens coming out there, and two of them just pretty much brawling, pretty much setting up what was going to become later on in the night of their main event match. So I thought that was pretty good that only lasted for as long as it did. But thinking of that main event match that we got from Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens, which pretty much, that match pretty much went, I would say about I'm trying to think. I would say about 25 minutes, give or take. So think about that for a second. You got one match that's 25 minutes. You've got another match that's 20 minutes. Another that's 11 minutes and change. Another one that's like 16 minutes. You got one in there that lasted about a minute 20 seconds. So, I mean, when you add all that up, just look at that. When you add all that up, you got 20, 11. All right, so you're already at like 31. Let's just round it off to 32 minutes, 16 minutes. What was that? 42, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 48. Okay, 49, 50, 50, hour 10, about like an hour 15 hour 16 of in-ring action out of a 3-hour show. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I mean, that's kind of good, right? For a 3-hour show. That's not really too shabby, I don't think. Not really too shabby. We had RK Bro teaming up with the Street Profits, taking on Dirty Dogs, Omos, AJ Styles. That match went to about 20 minutes. Dirty Dogs, Omos, AJ Styles picking up the victory. A little bit of miscommunication there towards the end, as Omos was pretty much cleaning house, and Riddle was begged by Randy Orton, yo, we don't need to get involved with AJ or Omos. We don't need to have really anything to do with them. Man, look, if you see Omos get tagged in there, leave him to the Street Profits. I do not want you having anything to do. Orton was trying to tell Riddle straight up, we got to think about these tag team championships, and we got to be smart right now. We got to make sure we're doing everything in our power to not get beat by AJ and Omos, because they could be the next legit threat to our tag team titles. So that's how Randy Orton is thinking here. But Riddle, he just wants to fight the good fight. And that's pretty admirable and all of that. But Omos, towards the end of the match, looking pretty damn good. I mean, pretty much was cleaning house, left to right. Nice, good, strong, dominating performance. He was getting ready to tag in his boy AJ Styles, who wanted the hot tag. But then out of nowhere, Dolph Ziggler takes the tag, and all the guys just start mouthing off at each other. AJ being the main one, pretty pissed off that he wasn't the one to get the tag. Outside the ring, Robert Roode got in the face of AJ, was pushing him around a little bit. Omos was not really feeling that, so he pretty much whooped that ass of Bobby Roode. I thought for sure when we got back into the ring, Dolph Ziggler was maybe going to try to go for a pin, but because so much time had lapsed, Riddle was going to kick out. But that did not happen, as Dirty Dogs were the ones to pick up the victory here. And with that, they were the ones that essentially pinned the Raw Tag Team Champions, so they can make that claim that maybe they should be the ones to face the Raw Tag Team Champions for the titles. Meanwhile, you've got Omos and AJ who are feeling pretty damn salty here. So, a lot of drama, a lot of moving pieces that you got going on in this matchup here. You also got a nice, I would say a nice borderline tease, if you will, as it felt to me, at least tonight. I don't know how you all felt, but at least for me, it kind of felt as though we were getting just a little bit of seeds being planted in there of maybe ultimately a Randy Orton that is just like, you know what, I tried to make this work, but this kid is not really using his head. There's nothing in there. He's pretty fucking hollow. And it seems like I'm always getting him out of a jam or getting us out of a jam. You just kind of felt that there were some seeds definitely planted in there of eventually things just, I don't know how far down the road we're going to be going with that, but you guys feel exactly where I'm coming from. Next up, Adam Pearce having a conversation with Rey and Dominic Mysteriosos, as the way he is dubbing the Survivor Series matchup. By the way, I was going to bring this up a little bit later on, but they're hand in hand, quite honestly. Did you guys see the controversy that had came about going into the weekend online? You had a lot of fans that were extremely pissed off with WWE for announcing the Survivor Series matches online, not on a TV show, not on WWE.com. A lot of people were ripping into WWE. Now, look, when I say a lot of people, I do mean it was a decent amount of people. I would say out of 100%, it was most likely, it kind of seemed like 70, maybe 75% were, okay, cool. While the rest of that, what the hell, WWE? And the main consensus was, Survivor Series, we're so used to qualifying matches to figure out who's going to be, representing Team Raw, who's going to be representing Team SmackDown. We're so used to these qualifying matches to figure out how the teams are going to shape up and then go from there. And a lot of people felt that WWE just kind of went, oh shit, there's a pay-per-view coming up. What do we do? Just throw some names together online. So a lot of people weren't really feeling that. In case you did not watch WWE Raw tonight, or you haven't been checking out the WWE programming within recent weeks, your matchups for Survivor Series, at least the Raw versus SmackDown team, I do have the official card here for how it's looking. You've got representing Team Raw, you've got Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Rey and Dominic Mysteriosos. But put an asterisk by the Mysterios because interesting development had happened on Raw tonight that we'll get into in just a hot little bit. So that's Team Raw. They're going to be taking on Team SmackDown's own Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, King Xavier Woods, Sami Zayn, Happy Corbin, and his boy, was that Riddick Moss, right? So that's for the men's side. Over on the women's side, representing Team Raw, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Carmella, Zelina Vega, Aaliyah. Correction. Let me go back to the Raw team. Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Carmella, Zelina Vega. That's it for Team Raw. Representing the women for Team SmackDown, Shayna Baszler, Sasha Banks, Shotzi Blackheart, Natalya, and Aaliyah. So that's how the 5-on-5 is looking for the women's side, okay? So a lot of people chewing this up online. Look, where do I stand in regards to this? On the one hand, I definitely understand where fans are coming from that are saying, yo, we're used to these qualifying matches. You know, we're looking at these fucking, you know, faces that's going to be showing up on this pay-per-view, and not for nothing, but some of these guys really haven't been established yet. And I kind of see where some people are coming from. I mean, look, if you ask me honestly, because some people made the argument, you know, hey, look, man, the new draft had went into effect and, you know, boom, we're just kind of going in this direction. What the hell? Well, just really stop and think about this for a second. If you maybe want to make that argument for the women's side, possibly, I could kind of understand where some of you guys are coming from. But just feel me for a little bit. You look at the men's side. Let's look at the men's 5-on-5. And this ain't long-winded. Seth Rollins. All right, we know what he's about. Finn Balor. All right, we know what he's about. Kevin Owens. Okay, we know what he's about. Mysterios. Okay, and again, we got to talk about the development that happened with the Mysterios. But, you know, you're looking at the Mysterios, you're going, okay, all right. McIntyre. Okay, yep. Jeff Hardy. Yep. Xavier Woods. Okay. All right, cool. Sami Zayn. Yeah. I mean, if you want to look at Baron Corbin and Riddick Moss, those are probably two guys that you could just honestly go, Now, look, Baron, I will say this, and I've been a fan of Baron's in-ring work for a couple of years now. I have definitely been on the show, and I've said to you guys many times, as far as the in-ring character, you know, there's some years there where brother was struggling. I would even think he would admit that. But there's never been a question about his in-ring work. It's stellar. It's pretty decent. Okay, and you got those rare nights where he will show up and he will hit a home run, and you'll just be like, wow, right? It's rare you see it, but stellar good matches for the most part. But you're looking at all of these names for the men's 5-on-5. You're going, okay, well, look, not for nothing, but I'm all right with this. This is cool. You go over to the women's side. I mean, look, Bianca Belair. All right, we know everything that the young girl has gone so far. She's continuing to chip away in her career. Okay, cool. Zelina Vega. All right, enough said. Carmella. Okay, cool. Liv Morgan. All right, she's been picking up some steam. All right, cool. Did we already bring up Rhea Ripley? We already brought up Rhea Ripley, but I mean, come on. She's holding on to the Raw Women's Tag Championship, okay? Sasha Banks. It's the boss. Shayna Baszler. Baszler stay breaking bitches. All right? Shayna Baszler stay breaking bitches. Natty. Okay, the veteran. Even Shotzi Blackheart, for what it's worth. Shotzi's been putting in some work. If you're looking at one person that's kind of like, yo, hold up. Aaliyah? Some people say, why is Aaliyah in there? I could totally understand that argument. I'll see your point of Aaliyah, and I'll say, why not Aaliyah? But I could even bring in there what's going on with Toni Storm. I hope Toni Storm is all right. I'm not trying to cause any speculation or anything like that, but we've seen these coming soon, getting ready to make her debut. And like, it's been so inconsistent what's been going on there with Toni Storm. And it's just kind of one of those head scratching things where you're just kind of like, yo, it kind of seemed like Toni Storm was just, seemed like she was, I've always told you guys, to each its own. I've always told you guys, I respect the hell out of those of you that think as far as overall, Toni Storm checks a whole lot of boxes. For me, there's only but so many boxes she's checking off. And I mean, where she's scoring the most, unless you're blind, apologies, she definitely scores on the cuteness, or on the, you know, nice little body and all that. I mean, she definitely scores from those standpoints, but like, I've still been waiting for a legit unbiased fan to tell me what is so about Toni Storm, other than the way she dresses. What's really, I've been waiting. Nobody has taken me up on that yet. So that challenge is still out there. But there's quite a few girls that you could just insert in there in place of Aaliyah and just be like, yo, why didn't I have this person in there instead? You feel where I'm coming from? But my main point is, do we really need to do these qualifying matches for Survivor Series? Do we really need to go in that direction, at least for this year? I think, honestly, considering all things, let's just say they were doing a tournament and this still was going to be the end result. I guarantee you that most people would still find something to maybe complain about. So it just goes to show you, you can't please everybody, nor should you try. And to the people that are saying, oh man, they just went on ahead and put this together and, you know, why should we care? And la, 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 la. You know, as far as WWE, I'm not defending them. I'm not going to talk as if I know how they're operating, but I will say this. Survivor Series is one of their major 4 pay-per-views of the calendar year. The name just sells itself. WrestleMania, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam. Those 4 always fucking sell. Just the name alone. I mean, we're talking about a wrestling institution, basically. Okay. So these names are going to freaking sell themselves. I don't think anybody, and this is the main thing that a lot of people need to try to remember here, which is we already know the in-ring wrestling is going to be banging on that night. Everybody's going to be bringing it without a shadow of doubt. So this whole thing about, yo, why didn't they do tournament matches? I saw what Ricochet had said. Even Ricochet was throwing a little bit of shade, wondering what was going on with the qualifying matches and all of that good stuff. Look, I'm okay with them switching it up. I'm totally okay with them switching it up. Seriously. Only thing I care about at the end of the day, how's the matches? Were we entertained as fans? That's what I care about the most. But to those that are complaining, I will say this. I need that same energy. I need that same passion for when AEW and other promotions decide, hey, yo, these are the matches, because you see it all the time. All the time. I ain't seen nobody throw shade at AEW when they pretty much had announced how Daniel Bryan and Minoru Suzuki, remember that? For the buy-in, remember that a couple of weeks ago? Now, before anybody says, oh, but that wasn't a TV show, that was a YouTube show, and before you even go in that direction, granted, you did have some people that felt, man, Danielson and Suzuki, that should have actually been on TNT. You had some fans that legit felt like that. Some fans felt that AEW was just throwing viewers away and ad profits and all of that. Some people felt that's exactly what was going on with AEW, while the majority of fans were pretty excited about it. But to my point, you know, if you're going to be one way, as I like to mention from time to time, if you're going to be one way, make sure that every single time a reoccurrence like this happens with another promotion, make sure you're bringing that same passion. Don't cherry pick. If that's not you, if you're not cherry picking and you're pretty much, nah, man, I don't care who the promotion is. If I'm watching them and this is how they're, nah, man, I have this high expectation. This is what I expect every single. Okay, I can respect that. But if you are cherry picking here, that's all I got to say. So we were talking about the Mysterios. Adam Pearce had Rey and Dominic Mysterio out there tonight. And in the storyline, he revealed that he has a lot of respect for Rey Mysterio and that the way the Raw team has been designed, it's all about former world heavyweight champions because he wants the very best opportunity to see that Raw gets a victory with their men's 5-on-5. Which brings him to this point, which is Dominic. Okay, yeah, you might have been a tag team champion, but you're not a world champion. You've done pretty good in your career so far. You definitely show a lot of promise. But you're not a world champion. You get to keep your Survivor Series spot if you can beat this man. So we see Adam Pearce just walk on by, take himself on to the back, and we're kind of going, okay, who is it? Who is the person that's getting ready to face Dom Mysterio here? Who is it? I don't know about you guys, but that seemed like an eternity there as far as them revealing who it was. I thought maybe it was somebody that was getting ready to make their triumphant return. Maybe somebody that was released and then said they were coming back. Your guess was as good as mine, but I was just kind of getting that impression, okay, maybe somebody that was released not last week, but sometime in 2021, right? Whether you want to put Braun in there or whatever. And then we see it's the return of the almighty Bobby Lashley. And this go round, he's got MVP with him. Great. I love the fact that MVP is back. I greatly missed MVP. I greatly missed him. I'm happy to see the brother is back. And they are just a great 1-2 combo. I mean, they complement the hell out of each other extremely well. I know we got all that controversy that's going on right now with Scottie Pippen and the whole Michael Jordan thing, but if you want to go Jordan, Pippen, Stockton, Malone, if you want to go in that direction, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, you want to go in that direction. As far as I'm concerned, when I'm looking at MVP and Bobby Lashley, they are, essentially the Siskel and Ebert. They are just a great dynamic duo. They complement the hell out of each other so well. They rub off on each other so well is my whole point. This was an ass-kicking contest when it was all said and done. Seriously, this was an ass-kicking contest. Bobby Lashley was just owning Dom Mysterio from the start. I mean, he could have ended this match at any time, and I just love the fact that they just kept egging that on, that Bobby Lashley could just end this at any time. But you know what? I was starting to have some serious trepidations because I feared at one point Dom was just going to come out of nowhere and get an upset on Lashley the longer and longer that this match had went, because not for nothing, I gotta be honest, this match went a little bit too long as far as I was concerned. For an ass-kicking contest, this bad boy went almost 12 minutes, and it was one-sided. A little too long. I think that should have been trimmed significantly. If you ask me how it should have been trimmed, trim that in half. If it's a freaking 12-minute match, trim that in half. Just go ahead and trim that in half. Lashley picking up the victory via submission. A couple of segments down the road, Rey Mysterio was seen backstage checking in with his son and everything. And backstage interviewer had caught up with him trying to get his thoughts. And Rey was pretty pissed off. He pretty much said, you know what, think we need to be eyeballing what's going on, particularly here with Adam Pearce, because if he really meant right, if he was, if he really meant well, if he was truly a good person of authority, he would have just gone on ahead, pulled Dom Mysterio. Hey, nothing personal, just business. Pull him, put Lashley in there, and that would have been the end of that. So I can't help but wonder, by Mysterio taking the shots that he did there against Adam Pearce, I can't help but wonder, we got what's going on with SmackDown when we're looking at Sonya Deville and Naomi, and I can't help but wonder if, are we maybe going something here between Mysterio, or the Mysterios and Pearce? Pearce kind of has a hard on here for the Mysterios all of a sudden. Like what's going on here? So I'm very curious to see where exactly we're going to be going with that one. I'm very, very curious to see where we're going with that one. Drake Maverick took on Flipper for the 24/7 championship. But I will say this, because this pretty much was over in a minute 20. I was so excited when I saw Drake Maverick picked up the win there, and he was the new 24/7 champion. And then we had all this chaos that just erupted. Akira Tozawa getting a roll up on Drake Maverick. What was it? Outside the ring? I don't know where it was, but Akira Tozawa gets the victory on Maverick to become the 24/7 champion. Doesn't even hold on to the championship that long, does Tozawa, as all of a sudden roll up from Corey Graves. Corey Graves becomes the new 24/7 champion. And then he gets a roll up from behind by Byron Saxton. Saxton becomes the new 24/7 champion. Then you get another roll up from behind where Drake Maverick gets the 24/7 championship back. Maverick, for whatever respective reason, runs into the freaking ring, gets owned by Flipper, and Flipper gets back the 24/7 championship. This was the weirdest sequence. Yeah. So I could care less about this 24/7 thingamajigga, but you know what? Look, when it's all said and done, this particular championship, just my whole outlook when it comes to this particular championship and the parties involved, I just look at this as being very specific towards a age demographic, and I just am not part of that demographic when it's all said and done. There are fans like me that are just not part of that demographic. It'd be one thing if we're making this truly be very competitive and all of that, but, that's not what you're getting right here. Okay, well, if we make it really entertaining, and I can't even go that route as far as the entertainment aspects go. All said and done, this is designed for a very specific demographic. I'm not part of that demographic. I don't think most of you guys that agree with a lot of what I'm saying are part of that demographic. So it is what it is. But yeah, I wish it was about a money. It kind of is, but it ain't. But this was about 1 minute, 20 seconds. Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Zelina Vega, Rhea Ripley, Carmella, Fatal 5-Way matchup. Now, right before this matchup, just all of a sudden, I thought this was kind of weird, but all of a sudden, we had Doudrop that had some choice words with Bianca. And this was before the match officially began. She pretty much had caught up with Bianca backstage in the curtain section and said to her, I wonder why. By the way, I do see you guys' comments in the chat. And when I can figure out a way to do a nice transition, I'll definitely, let's get done talking about Raw, and now I'll definitely get to some of the stuff that's popped up in the chat there. But Doudrop had some questions there for Bianca Belair. She said, I don't get this. Why are you getting another championship opportunity when you had the match against Becky Lynch from last week? I mean, you've had, so many opportunities, SmackDown, and then fucking draft after the draft. Like, why do you continue to get chances? And she tried to say that other girls feel that, but Bianca cut her off and said, no. That's your opinion, not everybody else's. That's your opinion. So let's keep it 100. And she just pretty much walked off. And, kind of weird because, later on during this match, when it was looking as though Bianca Belair was potentially going to be the one to get crowned the number one contender, because there was a lot that was at stake right here. This Fatal 5-Way matchup, whoever won this would become a number one contender to face the Raw Women's Champion, within a couple of weeks, I guess. But yeah, out of nowhere, Doudrop just yoinks Bianca Belair out of the ring and just starts slugging her. And this wasn't a disqualification, because this was pretty much anything goes. Like, anything was allowed in this matchup. The only way to officially win this match, pinfall or submission. So anything else could have happened in between, doesn't matter. And that's what we saw right here. And I just thought that was kind of weird that all of a sudden Doudrop just did this 180, because we saw how she did not like being ridiculed, picked on in storyline by Eva Marie. And Eva Marie was essentially this, this big meanie, and Dewdrop is trying to figure out ways to, get from under this girl. And we finally did see her break out and all that. This is a perfect example of, okay, we're not really sure what to do with this person. Because, to just keep, it makes no sense to me. And I'm trying to make sense. It doesn't make sense, especially when you have the fans that's already cheering this girl on, that have been cheering this girl on. She just naturally got over with the fans. They love seeing her when she comes out. They love seeing her. They even like to try to do the little, I didn't care for the little dancing that she was doing, because I thought basically she was like a female Brodus Clay when it's all said and done. And I didn't really care for that, but I'll admit, you had people that were kind of dancing and all that good stuff. And now we just went and done this 180. The only way I can really make sense out of this is by saying, well, you look at what happened there with Nia Jax's exit, and we need some type of right? Nia's gone. Eva Marie gone. We need somebody in there that can fill that void, essentially. And that's the only thing that remotely makes sense to me. But yeah, I just thought that was kind of head scratching. This was a foregone conclusion that Liv Morgan was going to win this, because they had Becky Lynch out there, who honestly, it's not Becky Lynch's fault, but you just go back. If you had your volume on or you had closed captioning on, every time you just looked up at the screen, it was just all about Liv Morgan, 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 Liv Morgan. And it was just pretty much a foregone conclusion that, okay, yeah, Liv is pretty much gonna win this. All right, so this was not a surprise seeing Liv Morgan pick this up. I don't consider this to be a surprise or, oh my God, upset. I don't consider it to be that. This pretty much was teased as early as last week. They should have, honestly though, Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch, it should be a fun, interesting matchup. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to be able to do. I will say the match, it was decent. It was a decent little 5-way match overall, but yeah, that's about all I got to say in regards to that matchup. Let's see. Other than that, I'm just looking at the rest. Your main event was basically Seth Rollins taking on Kevin Owens. And going into that main event, Seth Rollins had grabbed a microphone and he had some words to say to Big E, who's actually at ringside with the color commentating crew watching the action. And Seth Rollins revealed to him that, hey, look, going to be honest with you. You can take it for what it's worth, but I'm going to be honest with you. I have been working with Kevin Owens for the past couple of weeks. We pretty much made a pact after the draft that we were going to do everything in our power to take back Monday Night Raw. And part of that whole process was seeing you get dethroned as the champion. So Kevin Owens can deny it all he wants, but me and him, we made a pact. He's going to come out here and he's going to spit something, totally different out there. But nah, that's the truth. You can call me whatever, but I'm telling you the truth right now. So Big E kind of just, he was nodding his head, but just kind of shrugged it off a little bit for all it was worth. Seth Rollins soon was met with a fight there by Kevin Owens, as they pretty much were just brawling at it and everything. This match ended weird finish because it was a decent match between these guys, but the match ran about 25 minutes. And when you're putting that much time, when that much emphasis is going into your main event match, and you freaking ended on a count out, that's where I'm just kind of, what? So somehow, that must have been one fast ass count. I got to go back and watch that on the DVR, because somehow Rollins, Owens fighting outside the ring. And I guess the ref was just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, right? I guess that's what he was doing, because next thing you know, Seth Rollins manages to get back in there. And right when Kevin Owens is literally right behind Rollins. Owens gets counted out. And you're just going, wait, so we're ending like that. That's how we're okay. So, yeah, Rollins looking on, laughing his ass off. Big E is standing there, quite surprised to see how everything had panned out. The action did come his way at one point. I do remember that much. The action did come his way, but he's looking on. He's actually focused on Seth Rollins. Kevin Owens just kicks Big E in the face because he kind of sees where he is. He just kicks him in the face and just snaps. He just starts beating the crap out of him. I got to say, I like the seeds that were being planted leading up to Kevin Owens snapping on Big E, because we saw Owens throughout the night, talking to various people. It opened up with him trying to talk to Big E. Hey, you believe me, right? Everything that went down last week. Look, really, I didn't know. I didn't know what all was going on there. Your opinion means everything to me. I have so much respect for you. We've been at this for some years now. There's nobody's opinion I respect more than yours. And Big E wasn't having any of that. And we see later on, Kevin Owens trying to get the attaboy from Rey Mysterio. Ray's like, I can't really talk about this right now. I got some stuff to take care of with Adam Pearce. I don't know what this is about, but me and Dom, we got some business we got to take care of. Can't do this right now. We saw Kevin Owens even talk to R-Truth. R-Truth's like, I believe in you. Just like I believe in Bigfoot. I believe in Santa Claus. I believe in the Easter Bunny. I believe in the leprechaun from the hood, right? I mean, he was just going in all kinds of different directions right there. So, a bit of a weak finish to, honestly, what was a good match. But to see a frustrated Kevin Owens just freaking snap, I love that. I love that because, honestly, I miss seeing the Kevin Owens that has been a badass. I'm not really... Look, I told you guys, I think as early as last week or the week before, I said, Kevin Owens hasn't been really the same since the friendship there. Was it the friendship of Jericho or whatever? He hasn't been the same since that little pairing there. He's just been kind of, it's kind of neutral, basically, all that time. So to see Kevin Owens essentially get back to basics here, getting that heel Kevin Owens, I'm totally down with that. I'm actually totally down with that. And who better to play with than Big E when you got a heel Kevin Owens on your hands? Yeah, I like that. I like the idea with that. So that pretty much was it. Honorable mention, Big E taking on Chad Gable. That for me, if I'm thinking about matches of the night, that was the match of the night. Big E defeating Chad Gable, but Chad Gable that was a very, very competitive match, I gotta say. It was a damn good competitive match, and it just had me shaking my head, just going, God, the more and more time that goes by here and certain type of opportunities that Chad Gable was able to get, he's reminding me more and more of Kurt Angle here in his prime, of course. And I've yet to see anybody mention this. I want to just put this out here. And you guys that's going to be checking this out live, or you're going to be checking this out for on demand and on the downloads, let me know what you think about this, because I've yet to see anybody mention this online. What do you guys think about the idea of Gable Stevenson joining the Gable Academy? What do you think about that? Or the Chad Gable Academy, or the Academy? And because I think, if you were to get the services there of Gable Stevenson, you would without a doubt have to drop the Gable and just, I think you can get away with just calling it the Academy. But what do you think about that? What do you think about that? Because I think I might be on to something there. I mean, I believe he would be a really good complement to everything that's going on there. I definitely do. Whether or not that's actually what's going to happen, we'll have to wait and see, because for all we know, they may actually want to try to bring him in as a baby face. But I think, honestly, the way to go with Stevenson is actually the heel route. I think the heel route would suffice. So, but yeah, I was just looking at that match with Big E tonight. And if you have Raw on your DVR or you haven't watched Raw in a couple of weeks, go out of your way, see if you can find that particular match online. You'll really enjoy that. And I got to give it up to Big E particularly, because Big E made Chad Gable look like $1,000,000 fucking bucks. He sold for Chad Gable like a motherfucker. No bullshit. No bullshit. So that pretty much was Raw in a nutshell for tonight. So not too shabby of a show. Let's see what you guys are saying now. See if there's been any significant change with the polling results here since last we had poked our heads in here. And let's see what you guys are saying. I'm looking at the Twitter one first. And 75% of you are giving it a thumbs down. Meanwhile, 25% of you are giving Raw a thumbs up. Meanwhile, over on YouTube, 80% of you are giving the show a thumbs up, while 20% of you said, nah, thumbs down. So that is Raw in a nutshell. If you guys been enjoying yourselves so far, do me a huge favor. Make sure you hit that like button. When you do that, you really help put more eyeballs on the product. You really help it out as far as channel recommendations go, content recommendations go. Helps overall more people discover us, and the more people that discover us, the more likely that they're probably going to subscribe and all that good jazz. It's free too, right? Doesn't cost you a thing, right? No money's still kind of tight for some people. Hitting the like button doesn't cost you guys a thing. To those that think, I'm just going to hurt this person with a dislike, actually, YouTube pays attention to the dislikes as well. You know, they're looking at all the engagement. So they factor that in, like, dislike. They factor all of that in, because all they're looking at the end of the day is the engagement, and that's still actually helping the channel out. But I would hope that if you did hit the dislike, you're leaving a comment to leave a suggestion, you know, especially as far as constructive feedback goes, ways of improvement, things of that nature. So, also feel free to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content that's coming your way. We got a loaded up card for you guys with this week's shows. Tuesday night, we're going to be live covering NWA Power Fallout. Then Wednesday, we're talking Dynamite Fallout, NXT, you know, reactions, any little tidbits of news that's going down since last we were on the air. We'll preview the Full Gear card. Lot of good stuff we're going to be getting into on Wednesday's show, so definitely check that out. Will I be watching Full Gear this weekend? Yes, I will. I will be watching Full Gear for those of you that are curious. And there will be a post show for that, because remember, Full Gear is going to be this coming Saturday, November 13th. So we will be live doing a post show for that. We're not going anywhere right now, though. We still got plenty of showtime left. A whole lot of other stuff that we can get into. First off, let's get into a couple of questions that had came in on the chat here. From Anthony Stevenson, do I feel that Vince McMahon is having some type of a mental situation? Seems like he's destroying the WWE. I don't look at, and I think what Stevenson is alluding to is what's come about recently with these releases. And, you know, I kind of talked about this a little bit on the show when we first reacted to the releases. You guys are more than welcome to go and check that out. But I want to make sure I'm really driving this home. I really want to make sure I'm driving this home. Most people, and I've mentioned this time and time again, look, at the end of the day, it's nothing personal. It's just business. That is it at the end of the day. It would be very easy for me, of all people, it would be very easy for me to come on here, and I'm sure you guys have probably made your rounds seeing what other people had to say about the WWE releases online. It would have been very easy for me to come on here and just go, man, fuck that old man, McMahon. And that dude McMahon is losing his touch. Man, fuck WWE. They can suck my, fuck that piece of a company. blah, blah, yep, yackety smackety. I mean, it would be so easy for me to just go in that direction and we get all those likes, we get all those hits, and everybody is just, yeah, man, WWE, man, McMahon lost his touch, man, they just need to sell that company, man, because they stupid, what are they doing, right? It would be so easy for me to go in that direction. I know this as a person that runs their own respected business. My wife will tell you, as when she's not doing her thing, working full time as a manager on duty / treatment planner in the dental healthcare industry, she's working full time with her side business. You know, because she just loves putting smiles on people's faces. She loves making people feel beautiful and all that with the stuff that she's doing with, you know, her Mary Kay and all that. And all my other friends and family members that have their own respected businesses. At the end of the day, what went down, what is always going down when it comes to these WWE releases, it's nothing personal. It's just business. It's all about business at the end of the day. Remember the analogy that I had used some weeks back where I had said, hey man, if you got a restaurant, for example, if your restaurant is serving hot dogs, hamburgers, fried chicken, pizza, all right, you got maybe 2 people that's in this restaurant that's working the registers. And in the kitchen, you've got like 15 cooks. Do you really need 15 cooks in your kitchen? You know, and you're a small mom and pop, right? Yeah, all you're basically doing is delivery. You're doing delivery and takeout. Do you really need 15 cooks? Probably not. You probably don't need 15 cooks, especially if you can't even go in there and sit down, and the volume of calls you get from people that want food, people that's ordering online, yada, 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 yackety smackety, right? Right. You probably don't need 15 people. Now, sure. Oh, with the holidays coming up, oh man, have a heart, right? Okay, I hear you. But at the end of the day, it's a business. And for that business owner, when they're opening up the books and they're going, okay, all right, I gotta be concerned about paying my employees. I gotta be concerned about paying the lease on this property here. I gotta make sure I'm paying the lease and paying that shit on time, right? Any government tax, you know, all that shit. Okay. Oh, don't forget about the utilities. Whatever utilities that you're using to help your business, you gotta pay for that as well, right? There are so many, not to bore you guys, but there are just so many, right, that you gotta go down, that if you're that business owner, if you're having a hard time trying to stretch that dollar and make ends meet, you as that business owner, your own business owner, you're gonna be kicking back and you're gonna be going, all right, let me open up the book here. And okay, where can I save? How can I pull this off? Okay, well, you know what? Man, I would be able to save on a monthly basis an additional $7,000 if I let at least 10 of these cooks that's in my kitchen, if I let go at least 10 of these cooks, I'm saving about $7,000 a month. Multiply that in a year. Whoo! Man, I'm saving so much money that, it's all about staying cash flow positive. It's all about staying cash flow positive. Now, granted, remember what I had said on the show, as far as WWE and what they were able to do with those third quarter earnings, and the fact that they were able to save a nice little amount and everything. They had a nice little bit of coin. They saw profits across every single category as far as a plus gain. And, you look at that, there's nothing wrong with saying, okay, that's just kind of fishy in regards to the budget cuts. And, now you hear the rumblings going on that maybe some of these people didn't want to comply with getting their COVID shot. You see that speculation that's now running around? I'm not going to feed too much into that because all the people that have been released by WWE, I'm looking at the Braun Strowmans, I'm looking at the Miros, I'm looking at the Lanas, I'm looking at Adam Cole, okay, on and on, Bryan Danielson, I'm looking at all of these people, Malachi Black, I'm looking at all of these people. I have yet to hear any of them say anything about WWE put me in a position where they told me either you get the vaccine or you're going to constantly have to get these tests. And if you don't get tests or if you don't get the vaccine, you're subject to be, I've never seen anything like that. Right. And I would like to believe that if that was something that was going on, WWE would have we should have heard by now. Somebody's taking a screenshot and posting under a burner account or whatever, or giving it to one of their wrestling news friends to post on their behalf anonymously. Yeah, look at this memo that WWE had sent us about, we need to get our COVID tests. We got to get vaccinated or we can't work here. So I'm not buying stock into that. You look at, you really take a step back and you really look at all the people that were released. They were not involved in any major story arc. I hate to say that, but that's the truth. If you really take a step back, you look at all the names that were released, they were not involved in a major story arc. They weren't. A lot of these people were just kicking back, and they pretty much were just, waiting to see what was going to be in the cards for them, basically, as far as TV scripts go for WWE programming and all that. So it's really, trust me, it's real easy. It's very, what's the right word I'm looking for? It's very, there's a word I'm looking for. I'll just go with easy. It's so easy and narrow-minded to just say, look at all this stuff that WWE is doing. They're so stupid. They're so stupid. They just need to sell the company. These guys don't know how to make money. And it's like, that's very easy to say. But if you're actually a business owner and you're keeping on top of what WWE is doing every single quarter financially and all of that, look, you guys know I had did the Chris Jericho cruise. You guys know I had did the Chris Jericho cruise recently. It's no different than me and the wifey in the months leading up to us getting ready to do the cruise. When our minds were made up that, okay, we're going to go on this cruise. Okay, this cruise is going to be a little pricey for us, just a little bit pricey. But how are we going to do this? How are we going to pull this off? Okay, well, all right, let's open up the book. Okay, so, all right, where can we make some cuts of stuff that we really, don't need right now that can help us get X amount of money we need to pay towards the cruise and then still be cash flow positive in the process. That's literally what we did. Anybody that knows a thing or two about, having your own respective business or, you're a homeowner, and you and your spouse are kicking back and you are just, okay, we're going down the list. We're hammering it out. We're trying to figure out, okay, this costs this utility costs that. And we're trying to figure out how to save money, how we can make cuts. You all, especially you teenagers or kind of late teenagers going into your 20s, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Whether or not you want to admit it or not, you're doing some type of a budget cut as we speak. Whether you have Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Crunchyroll, you got that iTunes Music subscription or that Spotify subscription. You yourselves are in that position where you're going, oh shit, oh man, I really want to get tickets to go see, I don't know, whoever your favorite rapper is or your favorite singer is. You know, oh man, I really want to go to that Taylor Swift concert. Oh man, I really want to go see Nelly. Oh man, Usher is going to be in. Oh man, I really want to. You guys are like, okay, all right, let me see. Where can I? Okay, so Spotify. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut Spotify. I gotta eliminate Spotify. Okay, I'm gonna. Right, that's how it is. Pay attention to those that are saying the whole thing about Vince McMahon. You know, he's losing his touch. He's old, and that's no knock to you guys. I know you guys. You guys don't know better. Some of you guys don't know better. It's my job to hip you guys and have you really look at everything from all angles. That's how we always have done it here on this show. I just set it up for you. I set up the table for you, and afterwards, how you want to look at it, that's at your own pace. That's at your own accord. But it's my job to make sure you're looking at all things from every single angle rather than go with the popular opinion that's out there. Remember that. The next time you see people that want to talk about, you know, this guy's old, WWE ain't making no money, and all this other stupid shit, you just make sure that you smarten yourself up and you like, okay, first off, how much money did WWE make? Okay. Second of all these people that were released, what's going on with these guys? Were they involved in any type of a major story arc? Were these people that I was seeing on a regular basis on my television, or were these guys off for a good minute? You know, what's going on? Now, look, granted, some of the people that were released definitely was head scratching. I don't get that. I still feel, now that some days has progressed, I still feel that Karrion Kross, Keith Lee, those were two names that had no business being released. No business being released. I like the narrative that's being put out there about Triple H's baby, you know, his NXT, the people that he was interested in building up. I like the narrative that's being put out there about Triple H's legacy, if you will, is being erased. You know, look, I'm like this. While everybody wants to focus on that, this is all I give a damn about right now. Triple H just recently went through a heart procedure because he was having some serious health problems. And as far as I know, the guy hasn't been back in any capacity with WWE, working down there in NXT. He hasn't been back yet, as far as I know. Now, I will be paying attention to, as we get closer to Survivor Series, I'll be paying attention to the Survivor Series conference calls, you know, seeing what's going on. Hopefully we'll get an update on Triple H as far as, you know, one, is he back in rotation? What's he doing right now at corporate? If he's doing anything at corporate. But my mind's like this right now. The guy just got a fucking heart procedure, right? Even if you were to tell me, oh, it's a everyday, you know, little procedure. No, anytime you're doing some shit on the heart, I just go, that's serious. All I'm thinking about right now is this guy having a speedy recovery, coming back at 100%. That's all I give a damn about right now. So this stuff about Triple H's legacy, you know, his NXT history, everything's being erased. You know, I'm not looking at it like that right now. If something happens to you, you're not able to go to work for the next couple of weeks, or hell, you're not able to go to work for the next couple of months. The show's got to go on, doesn't it? Your employers, they got to go on, right? Work isn't going to be on pause as a whole where you work at. That whole thing isn't going to be on pause as a whole, just waiting for you to come back. No, it's going to keep on going. Once you're back at 100%, you're ready to go back to work and you're ready to start contributing again. That is when you are going to get put back into rotation. It's going to start off slow, but then eventually you're going to go right back to that regular pace, time schedule, you know, however many hours you were working before you went out on that injury, you're going to go back to that regular pace that you were on before you even out with that injury or you had to go get that surgery to begin with. Am I right? Okay, so and that's exactly what is going on with Triple H out of the picture right now, right? So I'm not focused. I will say, look, the NXT 2.0 product, I will say that they got to do a better job in really establishing so many of these new faces. They really do. And look, not for nothing, but the Scott Steiner kid, Braun Breaker, they've been doing an exceptionally good job with him as far as their 2.0 breakout stars. They've been doing a really good job with him. I'm trying to think. Carmelo Hayes is another one. I'm exceptionally very, very of high praise for Carmelo Hayes. Trying to think who else they got down there. MSK is still good. MSK is still good. By the way, we got a funny MSK story we could talk about a little bit later. Toxic Attraction, they're doing all right. But there's only like a handful of people that I'm remotely interested in right now. If you were to tell me next week or 2 weeks from now, there's going to be even more cuts and there's going to be some NXT names that's going to be added to that list, would not surprise me. It would not surprise me. There's definitely some people that I can think of that honestly it's like, you know what? Nothing personal. It's just business. It's just business. Got to show you the door. Nothing personal, just business, right? But yeah, that's where my mindset is right now. Now, we were talking about releases and all that other stuff. I don't know if you guys saw this earlier today, but Keith Lee did put out a statement in regards to his WWE release, and I definitely want to read it to you guys. A nice little heartfelt message that he put out there. Let me just go ahead and load this up here, and we will get right to it. And there we go. And I'll pull it up here on the screen. So for those of you that might be interested in reading along here, you guys can read along. But here's what Keith Lee had said. Greetings and salutations. This day is my birthday. By the way, happy belated birthday to Keith Lee. At the time that he had put this statement out, it was his birthday on Monday, November 8th. Greetings and salutations. This day is my birthday. This is not a happy birthday, but it is one I am most grateful for. Several months ago, it was not a guarantee I would make it to this day, so there is positivity in that. I paid all my medical bills from the many offices and machines I frequented. There is positivity in that, and I do find it amusing that people believe anyone but me paid for my medical expenses. I was going to wait a couple weeks, but I think it's time to look toward the future. Forward march, as I like to say. I am capable of so much more, and I can't wait to see what it looks like properly. I have a wide array of interests and abilities. I also consider myself to be rather open-minded. Here's to a future that, for all intents and purposes, seems limitless. So that's what Keith Lee had to say there. But, there's just certain things I want to just break down in this, and it's not long-winded. So I guess there was some type of narrative that was being put out there that WWE was paying for his medical expenses and all that stuff that was going on with his health. Well, he is pretty much saying it was actually him that took care of all his medical expenses. So I guess when it came to his heart problems that he was having, I would imagine when it came to him having COVID and that sidelined him and all that, I would imagine all of that stuff was pretty much him coming out of pocket to take care of all of those things. Not WWE. I mean, if that be the case, wow, is all I have to say. Because normally we've heard these stories off and on from over the years where people that were having some type of an issue, maybe they had to get surgery, things of that nature, WWE was taking care of them. I'm sure as time progresses and he's willing to do some interviews, these will be revisited and inquiring minds are going to probe and try to find out a little bit more. Hey, he opened it up here. I would see him having no problem revisiting this, right? So that's one thing that I focus on here when I read this. And he's absolutely right as far as being open-minded and seeing what's out there and everything. Yeah, this is a great time to not only, as I mentioned earlier, be a wrestling fan, but it's also a great time to be a wrestler because there are so many options that's out there. So many options. Right now, it's just basically you want to work. Right. I mean, I've seen wrestlers. I'm sure you guys have seen them, too, on social media. Some of them have like already filled up the first quarter or two of 2022. Scarlett Bordeaux. I mean, she's already making big moves. I just saw her recently announce for the Signed by Superstars virtual autograph signing. Those of you who are interested in that, go on the website there, Signed by Superstars. That's run by Rob Feinstein of RF Video. You can right now get in your orders for the little virtual sign in there. It's like $40. So I'm actually going to do it. I'm a big fan of Scarlett Bordeaux. I'm actually going to take part in that. I've got plenty of wall space. I definitely don't mind having her be on my wall of fame as far as I'm concerned. But there was one other thing I wanted to bring up in regards to Keith Lee, and I didn't get a chance to mention this last week, but my thoughts, I know Keith Lee and Karrion Kross, I know they're going to be okay. I know they're definitely going to be okay. And I did stress that big time when we were talking about these guys last week. But, man, to have all of this go down, look, it's one thing if you get released and it's okay. It is what it is. But when your significant other gets released by the same employer as well, now you both are running around and you're trying to figure out real quick, okay, yeah, if you're fortunate enough, you were able to save some money, not blow it up on stupid shit. You're able to, take care of your priorities, take care of your needs, right? The necessities. You might be able to splurge a little bit here and there, but you pretty much put the rest of it in a joint savings account or whatever. But when I look at Karrion Kross, Scarlett Bordeaux, I look at Keith Lee, Mia Yim, and I just go, wow, these guys recently engaged. They're trying to get married. Man, both couples out of work at the same time, and they're trying to hurry up and fill up their schedules and all this other shit. That I can only imagine how taxing that can be on the relationship. I can only imagine how taxing that would be. Trust me, look, in the Sanders household, we had our financial trials and tribulations. There's some that we still are dealing with from time to time, but I'm knocking on wood. We've been graced by the powers that be, and we somehow always manage to make it happen. We make it work, but to hear something like that where, man, just, these couples just all released at the same time, you're just like, wow, that's just insane. That is just crazy, man. Now, Nia Jax, she did put a statement out there about her WWE release. And I actually commented on this the day that she had mentioned this, and I want to read it to you guys, and it's kind of sad because I haven't really seen this pick up the respected steam that I thought it was going to have. But she did talk about her release in a lengthy statement here. I want to read it to you guys. It's about 90 seconds, maybe way less than that. Indulge me here. Here's what Nia Jax had to say. I usually keep my personal life private, but yesterday's reports leave me with no option but to clarify matters. I recently took a short leave of absence from WWE for a mental health break. I've been working through so much, more than I can share. And so I took some time with the full support of the company to take care of myself. Now, let me pause right there before I jump right back into the rest of what Nia Jax had said. I want to just kindly remind you guys that right around the time when Daphne Unger had passed away, and what a tragedy that was when she had passed away. And for those of you that are curious about some of the things that Tommy Dreamer had said on social media and how, the guys over there busted open, we don't know when he's going to come back, or, he returned like 2 weeks ago to the show, FYI. But when Daphne Unger had passed away, what was it? Was it even 2 months ago? Because it feels like she passed away in late September, if I remember. No, early September. I think she passed away around September 1st. So if you guys, yes, September 1st. So if you guys remember, shortly after the passing of Daphne, WWE had, apparently sent out an internal memo to all of its talents, management, and everybody, letting them know, hey, if you are having any type of, mental issues, mental health problems, there are resources available for you. All you got to do is just reach out and yada, 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 yackadie smackadie. And remember when WWE even, I think, put something out there on social media. Mike Bennett had took a shot at WWE, and he had met some significant backlash, and a lot of people, to their credit, whoa, what a hypocrite this guy is, because WWE had helped him out with his substance abuse problems and all that. And remember that there was even a nice little mini WWE doc special on Mike Bennett, and they were talking with Mike Bennett and Mike Kanellis and Maria Kanellis. Remember that? So think about that time period, okay? Think about that as we're continuing on here with what Nia Jax had said. So he just wrapped up the first paragraph of what she had said here. So she goes on to say, earlier this week, after WWE sent me my schedule to return to the ring for the November 15th show, so she was slated back November 15th, I asked for an extension to my mental health break, feeling that I needed more time and hoping I would have the ongoing support of the company I have given my all to for the past 7 years. I did not receive a response. The next I heard, I was being released. My vaccination status was never mentioned. I wasn't given any choices or options. Now, let's home in on something here, because I think this is very interesting. A lot of people seem to be just overlooking this. I don't want to be long-winded on this, but just home in here. Let's pick it right back up around November 15th show. I asked for an extension to my mental health break, feeling that I needed more time and hoping I would have the ongoing support of the company I've given my all to for the past 7 years. I did not receive a response. The next I heard, I was released. My vaccination status was never mentioned. Pause on that. My vaccination status was never mentioned. Now, some wrestlers you heard about from WWE, where you're kind of wondering, okay, so Are they vaccinated or are they not? You see some of your favorite wrestlers were retweeting certain things. Some retweeting, liking things about getting vaccinations. Some kind of gave you the impression maybe they were endorsing not being vaccinated. So something like this, you know, my interpretation of this, and I could be wrong, but my interpretation of this is maybe Nia Jax is not vaccinated. Now, if she's not vaccinated, look, that's her right. That's everybody's right. We don't need to get too political here, but that's your right. If you don't want to get vaccinated, what have I always said to you guys? I said it even as far back as the Awesome Con panel from the summer. You know, you don't want to get vaccinated. Okay, cool. But do your research. Be smart about it. Know the steps, know the precautions that you can be taking instead of not getting the shot. You know the mask, the social distancing, always washing your hands and all that good stuff. Sure, people that get the vaccination, sure, there's that 1%, 2% chance that they could get COVID. But the best part, they won't be as sick as someone that did not even get the vaccinations, right? So I just find that, to each its own, but for me, I just find that interesting that she just, you know, she didn't have to mention that part, but she mentions that her vaccination status was never mentioned. But let's continue on because I think it's very important that she said that. So for those that maybe were thinking, okay, hey, vaccination status, maybe this is why, you know, some of these people got, well, she's saying right here, as far as she knows, in regards to her release from the company, it had nothing to do with her vaccination status as far as she knows, because her vaccination status was never mentioned, right? I wasn't given any choices or options. It breaks my heart to be so abruptly let go without consultation. When dealing with so much privately, I love my career at WWE. I love the men and women I worked with, and I am going to need time to process this huge loss. I appreciate those people who have shown understanding and compassion during an incredibly difficult time. And I saw this the day Nia Jax had this typed up, and she pretty much hit the send button. And what I said at that time, I will read to you guys what I said, quote for quote. I said this on Twitter, all throughout social media. I said, to see this statement from Jax kind of fucked up WWE. Whether a fan of hers or not, this was a dick move. At the same time, she was not involved in a major story angle. That's my way of saying she wasn't on TV. At the end of the day, it is sadly about business and staying cash flow positive. But sheesh. I mean, that's just fucked up. Now, some people brought up a really good point, which is, well, damn, she had that injury. You know, wasn't she gone for a series of months there where she had that injury? So, you know, there's your mental health right there. Like, don't really understand what the hell. Here's the thing. We don't know what was going on with Nia Jax during that period of time when she was injured. If you're an athlete, a wrestler or whatever, you get injured and you want to come back. You're trying to do everything in your power to come back. All you're thinking about is, man, I got to come back. Yo, I got to hit the gym. I got to hit the rehab. I got to hit those weights. I got to hit that treadmill. You know, whatever I got to do, man, all I'm thinking about, I just want to be back. I want to be back. You're just thinking about all of that. You know, you got other instances where one is, okay, not only am I injured, but there's some stuff going on at home. Haven't really been spending time with my kids. Yada, 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 yackety, smackety. Whatever is going on. So a person may just combine all of those things while they're on that little bit of a hiatus. But here's the thing. From the time when she was injured to when she came back, we're no Dr. Phil's, we're no Dr. We can't speak on what was going on inside her head during that particular period of time. For all we know, she might have been in a really good freaking place. She might have been in a really good freaking place. And for the stuff, right? So we're talking about back then. We don't know what the hell has been going on with her recently. And it's not our business to know unless she decides she wants to issue some type of a public statement through a press release, or she does a vlog or whatever and tells us otherwise. Let's respect her privacy. But we don't know what was going on, what has been going on with her within the past month, the past 90 days, the past 6 months. We don't know. We don't know. So all things considered, look, I don't look at her. I don't look at what she's putting out there. There's some people you just go, mofo's trying to play the victim. They're just pulling the victim's card. They can't take self-accountability. Nia Jax has never struck me as somebody like that. It's pretty much what you see is what you get. You don't like it, tough shit. She's always been one of those type of people. And I think many of you could definitely, the 2 cents from a distance, say, yeah, but the same vibe I kind of get as well, Lee. So, it is one of those things where I respect the fact that, all right, this was a business decision, right? You don't have to tell me budget cuts. You could just look, we're trying to just continue to stay cash flow positive. We got to justify what we did in this third quarter. And, okay, you can hit me up with all of that all you want. From the business standpoint, I totally understand. I totally get it. But when a person asks you if they can take some time off so that they can, because they need a mental break. They need a mental break. Lord knows, let me tell you something, and this is real talk. Lord knows, when I did the Jericho cruise, for me and my wife, it was a refreshing mental break because we both severely needed it. There was so much stress and everything going into the wedding. And then afterwards, when we had our honeymoon, we were still in that we never really could just relax because, okay, we're in this state and, now we're going to go zigzag and go to this state and then we're going to go to this state. And then, so we never really just, to the point, I don't even think we were 2 weeks out from our wedding when we were already thinking about the Jericho cruise. And let me tell you something, when it came leading up to the Jericho cruise, we were so mentally, we checked out. We were fucking gone. We'll dive, I'll have her talk about it more when we do the 10th anniversary show, but we just were out. I mean, work was just really grinding us down. I mean, mentally, it was just... And that little cruise vacation could not come soon enough. We're already talking about going on another, right? Because it's so far in between when we take these breaks. It is. That cruise that I did, that was truly, other than my wedding and my honeymoon, that was truly my first real, okay, here's a vacation. And I've pretty much been working nonstop the past 10 years without taking a break. Other than my days off from work as scheduled, right? So I know a lot of you guys, so after a while, like that grind just, and that's just one part of mental health and trying to stay on top of it and do everything you can to make sure, everything's all right, especially at home. Here you have somebody that's been on the road for all these years, night in, night out, different towns, doing the house shows, all of that. right? It's a bit taxing, a bit challenging as it is to stay on top of your health, nutrition, things of that nature. Heaven forbid, you got a loved one back home, right? Then you got to try to figure out how to, keep that relationship intact while you're constantly bouncing around, going to these other cities, these other states, potentially other countries. You feel where I'm coming from? So that, for me, as much as I can appreciate everything that's going on from the business side of things, just to hear this part, hey man, I'm not quite ready to come back just yet. I could use a little bit of an extension. I mean, that's some fucked up shit. That's some fucked up shit, quite honestly. I believe she'll be back in the WWE. I think of all the people that were released from WWE, I think she'll be back a lot sooner rather than later. I sincerely believe that. And look, not for nothing. You've seen some people that were released by WWE. Some of them did come back. Some of them were brought back. So it could very well happen for a person like Nia Jax. Now, if that wasn't sad and depressing enough, one other person that was recently released by WWE. And my heart definitely goes out to her because when it's all said and done, she's still a kid. And man, I just hope that she's able to have things work out for her in the long haul, because this type of stuff, I really, really wish that I really wish that shit like this wouldn't happen to people that are out here on some type of a work visa and all that. But I'm talking about Katrina Cortez, and I want to pull up her tweet right here. You guys are going to be able to read this as I read it out loud for those that's going to be listening to the audio version of this. But Katrina Cortez, if y'all don't quite remember that name, you remember that period of time where Lucha House Party, or actually, I think it might have been Sin Cara. There was like that period there where they had a maxed female wrestler join them, and that was Catalina, I'm thinking her, I'm looking at her screen name right here, Catalina Garcia, but that was Katrina Cortez. That one match that she had, I believe it was on WWE RAW. It might have been two matches, actually. Well, she put out a little short statement revealing that she soon has to leave the United States. She said on Twitter, at age 18, I made the decision to travel to an unknown country without knowing English. I came here. Today I received an email telling me that my visa expires next month and I have to sell everything that I'm going to try to clean this up a little bit. Visa expires next month and I will have to sell everything. I think what she's trying to say right here, I'll read it as it is and then I'll clean it up for her. I have to sell everything that with much love and effort I have achieved. So basically everything that she has been able to earn since she's been working here in the United States, she's now got to sell things that she cherishes, sentimental things of value and all that, with great love and all the hard work and shit that she's put in. She now has to pretty much sell all of those things just to try to, I guess she's got to go back home. And that is just very, very sad to hear. It really is. Katrina was born in 1996. So how old is she now? 96, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So what's that? So she's now what, 25? If that's right. She's now 25. That is just, yeah, she's 25. That's sad. That is just really, really fucking sad to hear that. because she's been with WWE, according to this, she's been with WWE since 2019. 2019. And her early career, when you look at the, mid 2000s, like 2015 to 2019, she was trained down there at the Lucha Libre Academy. And she also had worked with a couple of Chilean promotions as well. So basically out there in her home country and all that, but this is the type of stuff I've heard this off and on. I have had friends over the years that were working out here on a work visa. And, it was just so fucking sad. Some of the friends that I had, they were out here on an education visa. It was kind of one of those deals where, schools that they were going to, as long as they were continuing to go to school and as part of it, they were also, working out here, they were able to continue to, stay in the U.S. and all that. But I've had a few friends from over the years when shit didn't go right, be it they lost a job or whatever, they weren't able to make shit happen in time. They just had to hear something like this with Katrina Cortez, just really, really, really fucked up. And I mean, here's the saddest part about all of this. It'd be one thing if, okay, well, you know what? You've been on TV every single week. That phone's going to ring. Some promotion is going to want to try and pick you up, and right, so you should be okay. But when you're not getting the TV time, right, because your face is your brand, your face is your identity. That's how you fucking make your money. When you're not getting that opportunity, it's not coming as frequent. It's really hard to get yourself and your brand over at the end of the day, especially when you're behind the mask. So that for me was just really, really fucking sad to hear. And the fact that she now has to sell all of her stuff, and that just kind of says to me that whatever little bit of amount of money that she was able to make during her time with the WWE, it wasn't really enough to, you feel what I'm saying? She might have had like a basic type of deal, type of contract or whatever, right? And depending on where exactly she was living, I would hope maybe she was living in Florida, so you can avoid taxes and shit. But, if she wasn't, then it's kind of one of those, it's really sad when you think about it. It really, really is. And it's just one of those stark reminders. Like, I don't know how it is for you guys, but I just remember when I was 19 going on 20. I was 19 going on 20. And I remember when I had decided, okay, you know what? I am fucking done with my parents. I'm ready to go out on my own. I want to try to go get my own freaking apartment. Like, I'm fucking done with this. I was in college and I was like, fuck it. I want to go enjoy the college life. I want to go have my own place. And, luckily there was a buddy of mine that had a really nice, pretty 3-bedroom townhome. And he was like, come check it out. And if you're interested, like, and, I had checked it out and everything. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I just remember how excited I was. It was new territory for me. I'm sure that's what Katrina Cortez, right? I would like to believe it was kind of very similar to that. And I remember being so scared when I had decided it was time for me to move, because I had no choice. I just got tired of dealing with the whole random roommate bullshit, because I was dealing with new roommates back then. I was dealing with new roommates like, who's going to be the next Batman? It was kind of one of those type of deals. And I just remember how some stuff I sold. Stuff that I had saved up money, worked for, bust my ass, and some of that same stuff that, like with Katrina Cortez, I just remember I had to unfortunately sell some of that stuff to make sure that I had the money that I needed to pay for movers, because I needed it to go from one place to another, and yada yada yada, yackety smackety and all that. And it's a firm reminder of, we got to make sure that these men and women that decide they want to get themselves involved in the world of pro wrestling, and they're pretty young and all that, we got to make sure that we're really driving home to them, there's programs that are out there, teach you how to not only budget your money, but okay, you need to try to invest in this, look into some really good affordable housing options. Number one game is to make sure that you're staying cash flow positive. And then also at the same time, if you're going to be coming here from another country, that's great that you're going to be invested in pro wrestling and all that. But hey, wrestling ain't forever. Something weird can go down. You could be having a match. Next thing you know, boom, that's it for your ankle. Yeah, you might be able to get it repaired and all that, but the doctor has pretty much told you ain't never going to be able to wrestle again. You'll be able to walk, but you're never going to be able to wrestle again. So, okay, life comes at you fast. We see the shit that's going on right now with LeBron James. When you've clocked in over 61,000 minutes in your NBA career, and after a while, sooner or later, the body is just going to be like, and it's really, to me, starting to come off as if Kobe Bryant is creeping in there on LeBron James. I say that meaning, it feels as though just as we were seeing Kobe tail end of his career, it kind of feels as though we're now watching LeBron in that phase, right? Where, obviously basketball ain't forever, right? You can get all the guys you can think of to come play with you and try to build a team to go win right now. But when it's all said and done, right, if this was maybe LeBron in, year 7, year 10, I'm like, okay, he can pull it off. But, that livelihood, especially that physical activity, anything that involves physical activity, right, don't last forever. So you got to have a backup plan. What's that backup plan going to consist of, right? I really wish that better programs, if there's one wish just as the wrestling industry as a whole, I would just like to see more programs and divisions, things of that nature, number of resources. I'd just like to see all of those things really be expanded more and more and more for these wrestlers. Something like this with a young woman in Katrina Cortez and under WWE, something like this we shouldn't even be hearing about in 2021. And that's for real. But that's just my 2 cents on that. Other than that, let's see what else we got here. Real quick, some ratings. Some ratings are out for this week's Rampage. Rampage had brought in from this past Friday. They brought in about 599,000 viewers on TNT. That's down from the previous week, which had saw 623,000 viewers. For that 18 to 49 demo, Rampage did a 0.22 rating, and that's down from the 0.25 rating that they had on the prior edition. So meanwhile, Fox, as far as SmackDown on Fox goes, they did a 0.57 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic with 2.93 million viewers, up 96.6% from the previous week, which did a 0.29 demo rating with 132 million viewers. So that's pretty good. So congrats to them for that. That's damn good. Rampage, and that sucks too because Rampage was a great episode. As you guys know, I'm always doing the live ongoing coverage of Rampage Friday nights for the 411 Mania website, where I am a columnist for and reporter as well. And I also provide Rampage, a live Rampage review afterwards. I had a blast checking out that show. I love the fact that they had put the spotlight there on up-and-comers with, if you will. John Silver had a great outing there with Adam Cole. What was it? No. What was the other match that they had going on? I'm trying to think. I actually got to look at that damn card now. Forgive me, guys. But that's what happens. I mean, because we're talking about a show on Friday, and I'll be able to find it real quick. Just bear with me a second here. Yeah, but I definitely remember the John Silver Adam Cole match. I thought that was a really good match. But my point was there was nice love there for the young up-and-comers. That was the whole point I was trying to bring up there. So from Bryan Danielson facing Anthony Bowens having a nice, good, strong effort there, looking like $1 million thanks to Bryan Danielson. Red Velvet taking on the Bunny. Red Velvet going over, which made all the sense in the world considering the past history between Jay Cargill and Red Velvet. That's going to be a nice semi-tournament qualifier between those two girls. John Silver taking on Adam Cole, or Budge Adam Cole as he dubbed it. That was really good psychology. And I ended up becoming a big fan out of John Silver as a result of that match. It was a nice little surprising outing that Silver had there. So it was pretty good what they did. I'm surprised that the numbers weren't higher. Got to be honest. I was a little bit surprised that the numbers were not higher for Rampage. Very curious to see what's going to be happening as we get ready to go into Full Gear Weekend. And on this note, rest in peace to WCW Tag Team Champion Judy Bagwell, who passed away at the age of 78. The saddest part, whenever any of us have said, Judy Bagwell on a pole match, it was never any malice or we were trying to be dicks towards Judy Bagwell. We've always looked at that particular period of WCW as one of the facepalm, head-shaking WTF moments of a company that, man, you guys had so many great moments, especially 83 weeks there, kicking WWE's ass. And, we go from all that and we start doing this ridiculous, stupid shit, but as veteran wrestling fans, I would like to believe that the majority of us, and I'm sure a lot of other veteran wrestling fans will agree with these sentiments, it was never personal with Judy Bagwell. We were just looking at that period of time and just, why is she even on our TVs? What the hell kind of stupid shit is this, right? But, hey, you only get one mom, you only get one dad, and, that's pretty much it. So definitely thoughts and condolences there to the Bagwell family. I would imagine Buff Bagwell is taking that pretty hard. So thoughts and prayers to the Bagwell family. Once again, Judy Bagwell passing away at the age of 78. But look, 78, that was a nice, good run, right? It's a nice little run. That's a nice, long, fruitful life. Able to create a lot of fun memories there. Able to do a lot in that time frame, seeing the world, all that good stuff. Sadly, in the case of Judy Bagwell, it was a nice, long, but what ultimately took her life was her battle with dementia. And, 78, that's a nice, long life, but, I have had family members with dementia. my wife, on her side of the family, there's a relative or two, three that now that I'm even thinking about it, within the past 7 years, battled some form of dementia that ultimately took their lives. And dementia, it's just so fucked up, just dementia. Cancer and dementia, I would just have to say those are just the two most fucked up ways for a person to go out, honestly. But I hope that if there is an afterlife, wherever Mrs. Bagwell is now, pain, suffering, hopefully it's all gone. Hopefully it's all gone, and she is truly at a utopia, just the ultimate utopia of paradise. So, but yeah, fuck dementia, fuck cancer, can't stand that shit. So that's it. That's the show, man. So we've run about 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'll tell you what, I don't want to end it on a Debbie Downer. Let's end it on a high note. I'll have you guys go out with a chuckle. Fun story, and this is wrestling related. Izzy's father. I know you guys know about Izzy. Izzy, the nice little cute girl that we would constantly see at the Full Sail University NXT shows, always with her parents in the front row. And that's one of the ways to really get yourself over and all of that. Well, over the weekend, Izzy's father had made headlines as he called out Lince Dorado. And the way he called out Lince Dorado, he put out a tweet basically wishing Lince best wishes in his future endeavors with a laughing out loud emoji. And this is very calculated, and it's kind of creepy as fuck at the same time, because Lince Dorado, MSK, who else? There was somebody else. But all these cats, they had responded to then at the time a 12-year-old Izzy who was getting choke slammed in the middle of the ring at some pay-per-view show. And I remember back then, I just felt very about that. I remember feeling very, very nauseous. I wasn't quite a fan of that. I remember even questioning the people that decided this was okay. I want to say at the time I might have even questioned, okay, well, how exactly did she take this choke slam? I was not a fan of it, but there were a few people, Lince Dorado being one of them, because at that time he talked about how him being a dad, he would not allow his kids to ever. And so Izzy's dad, if you will, had some type of, even Chelsea Green was another one that wasn't really a fan of it as well. And this dad, I guess he had like a little fucking black book, because all these people that were being so outspoken about, what the fuck are the parents doing here? This is some fucked up shit. I guess he had a black book, because it was just kind of like, okay, I got you, bitch. yeah, I'm gonna get you. You just made the list. So, supposedly, legend has it that he was accused of getting NXT fans to boo the hell out of MSK and a whole bunch of others. Yeah. So, yeah, this just, it's crazy. So he put that statement out about Lince Dorado. And this was so hilarious, because as soon as he put this out there, Lince Dorado came right back with a tweet, and he said something along the lines of, "I see you, fam, especially you." And he actually at Izzy's father, his official handle, Twitter handle, and all that shit. And he basically told the dad, "Look, I'm going to be in the area on the weekend. I'm going over here. have a front row seat and all that. Won't you go ahead, meet me there? We could talk about this man to man. And it turns out the place where Lince Dorado was actually going, he was participating in some jiu-jitsu tournament, and the motherfucker actually won it. He actually won first place. He actually won this motherfucker. And so he took photos of himself. I mean, you talk about gangster, right? Danger! The ninja's right here. I got to replace that word, right? I'm going mystical on you guys. So he actually bought a plane ticket. And no, not a plane ticket. He actually had a ticket of the front row seat, and then he had another ticket. I can't remember what it was, but he basically was, hey, yeah, I'm here, right? And the next thing you know, Izzy's dad decides to put out this long, little pathetic apology. Lince, no need to talk because I have truly already said too much. I am man enough to admit when I'm wrong. I sincerely apologize for my insensitive tweet on Thursday. Deleting the tweet is not enough. I owe you a direct apology. I also recognize and respect what you are doing and what you're dealing with professionally in this moment. I should have never made such a rude, off-the-cuff remark. Again, I truly apologize for my actions. You are a talented wrestler, and I know that you will continue to thrive in the pro wrestling business. I want you to know that with sincerity, I do wish you and your family all the best. Hashtag apology. So what happened right here? This is somebody that was just meow, rawr, 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 rawr. And then when he finally gets owned, meow, meow, meow. You right? All of a sudden, right? Little kitten there. All of a sudden, he's a little fucking kitten. Hashtag apology. That is just hilarious to hear, by the way. Hilarious to hear. Right. I'm sorry, but if I owe somebody a direct apology, I'm going to be a adult about it. I'm going to be a man about it. And I'm going to fucking meet them face to face. And I'm going to, hey, look, I mean my own words too. I remember a couple of months back, I was having such an off day. And I learned that it was mainly because my diabetes. I didn't eat anything and I didn't take my medicine. So I was having like a significant mood swing. Long story short, I had chewed into my supervisor. It was not good. It was not good. I had chewed into him so bad. I think this guy literally thought I was going to beat his ass because I think he was so scared because he had actually called for the manager to, right? But that's how upset I was. And when I finally was able to, really calm down and try to, okay, get out of this, like you realize, like, right? And I just remember at the end, I had apologized, to both of them. I went out of my way and, shook their hands and told them, I was too embarrassed to tell them that, they were getting what they were getting because, I didn't have a bite to eat. My blood sugar was pretty low. I just pretty much, I don't know how I got out of there, but I never remember apologizing to them. And then afterwards, I remember I purposely, I got like a soda or something and I just start chugging that bad boy. And I was good for the rest of the shift and everything. But even yes, guys, yours truly, even I have done some shit where I've been like, rawr, rawr, rawr. And then, but see, the big difference between me and what Lizzie's dad did, my black ass, I go, wait a minute. Okay, I'm in the right state of mind here because I know this is my diabetes, but when it's your diabetes, it's kind of hard to like really get yourself out of that picture unscathed. But I was man enough to right there on the spot, right? Like, fuck that whole social media bullshit hashtag apology. Take your hashtag apology and shove it up your ass. Come on now. And for those of you that might be curious, Izzy's dad has disappeared off the face of the earth. It looks like he has deactivated his Twitter account. And, obviously at some point, if he wants to, he can, bring that back and everything. But it looks like for all intents and purposes, that joint is gone. It is gone. So what did we learn here? What did we learn here? Well, we learned here that Izzy's dad has no balls. We learned that Lince Dorado is gangsta. Okay, he's truly gangsta. He ain't the one to be playing with. He ain't the one to be playing with. If you go talk some mad shit about Lince Dorado, you make sure you ready to be willing to say that shit to him to his face, right? Hey, I will be the first to tell Lince Dorado, dude, hey, I'm sure you're a talented wrestler, but the shit they had you doing in WWE, it sucked. It was always a bathroom break. I hate to tell you that, dog, but that's just how it always was. Not saying that to hurt your feelings, just telling you how it always was. Looking back on it, anything you wish you could have done differently right? I will definitely ask him that straight up, right? I would ask him that straight up. I'm not telling you guys something that I wouldn't say in person. What I've always told you guys on the show on a regular basis for year upon year upon year. Now, I've always told you guys what you get of me and how I'm talking and interacting with you all here on the show is exactly what you would get in person. Sadly, for a lot of these people that are online, including a person like Izzy's dad, true definition of being a big bad keyboard warrior. All bite, or correction, all bark, no bite. Lot of bark, no bite. That's what that is. Best thing this dude can do right now is just continue to shut the fuck up. Continue to enjoy wrestling as a fan. Continue to live vicariously through his daughter, who's doing really nice, cool things in her career and all that right now. Just take a backseat, enjoy himself. That's it. That's the best thing that he can do right now. And I know a lot of people are kind of questioning those parents, man, because it really feels very forced upon, don't it? It really, really does. But that's a different topic for another time. I definitely want to close it out on that note. Yeah, Lince Dorado, he went gangster. Hardcore gangster. Love that. All right, so we're going to stick a fork in it, call it D-O-N-E done as you guys are getting ready to make your exit there. If you haven't already done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe. Love to see you subscribe. When you subscribe, you definitely get a shout out, all that good stuff. And hit the like button. When you hit the like button, you really help do your part, especially since it's free to do. Help your part in spreading the word about our content. It's all about the domino effect it has as far as channel recommendations and all that. And look, even if you hit the dislike button, that actually still, just FYI, that still helps us as far as the overall engagement of our content goes. I just hope that if you do leave a thumbs down, you leave a comment letting me know, hey man, the show was good, but work on this or work on that. I'm receptive to receiving constructive feedback. Nothing wrong with constructive feedback. Next edition of the RCWR show is going to be coming at you guys on Tuesday night, November 9th, 2021. I'll be live. I will most likely be live at maybe 9. I'll say like 9:30, 9:45 p.m. We'll cover NWA Power Fallout. That's going to be part 2 of the By Any Means Necessary event. So tune in for that. That should be fantastic. If you didn't check out the part 1 show that I did from last week, go scoop that up. And then Wednesday, November 10th, new RCWR show after Dynamite goes off the air. So that should be a solid show. We'll also get into the Full Gear card on that episode. And don't forget, we are doing the AEW Full Gear pay-per-view post show Saturday night, November 13th. And everything all wraps up with this coming Sunday's 10th anniversary edition of the RCWR show. That'll be coming on at 8 p.m. Eastern. A lot of info, I know. Don't worry. As we get closer and closer, you're going to be continuing to get all those programming notes, one day at a time. For all the very latest, be kind, rewind. Check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads, wherever you get your podcast. Shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to our Patreon Familia. Shout out to those that support the show. You guys know exactly who you are. And let me close out with this one. I can't believe I almost forgot about this. I definitely want to send a congrats to my podcasting amigo and Don Tony from the Don Tony Show. I would like to believe he revealed earlier on his show he has joined a podcasting network. I think it's a relatively, established name, but he's doing the next phase in his respected career, and he signed up with, because I know he revealed he had signed a contract with them, but I don't think he was supposed to be revealing the name of it until this week's round of shows. So I definitely want to send a congratulations to him. All the people that I mentioned from time to time that have their own shows, these are people that we're all friends. We're all friends. We're one big family at the end of the day. And, when one of us is doing good, we love spreading the word about that, because honestly, good things happen to those that continue to put in the effort, continue to put in the good work, night in, night out, week in and week out. So congrats to DT. No bullshit. Congrats. And that's going to do it. All right. So get at me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR show. Audio version of this, I'll release it Tuesday night, a little bit after we get done with that NWA post show for you guys. So enjoy the webcast version for now. And until next go around, I'm wishing all of y'all to be safe and most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you guys next go around. Adios. Peace.